Hello everyone, welcome to Mastermind. In this video, let us discuss five most important questions. Five most important questions, and this is from the chapter called as the election system. This is from the chapter called as the election system. This is from our class 9th, chapter 21, geography. So in that only we have a separate section on political science. In that there is a chapter on election systems, and this is one of the very important chapters because most of our basics are covered in this chapter. Most of our basics are covered into this chapter. Also, this class 9th of state textbook, class 9th state textbook of Karnataka, in which you are studying both the parts of social studies, that is social studies part 1 and social studies part 2. In this, a lot of your basics related to history, geography, economy, all of these, and also the political science and society, all of these, most of the basic concepts are covered very nicely. For example, what actually is family, so what actually is democracy, what is constitution, etc. So these smaller questions are covered very nicely in paragraph format in these textbooks. So if it is possible for you, then you have to study those. However, we'll be covering the whole chapter of the election system in this part of the video with the help of 5 important questions. So I hope you are ready. Let us start with the first question. Consider the following about Election Commission of India. First statement says that Indian Election Commission was founded on January 25th, 1950. Second statement says that Part 14 of Indian Constitution speaks about Independent Election Commission. Part 14 of the Indian Constitution speaks about Independent Election Commission. Here the answer is A, one only, because Part 14 doesn't speak about Indian Constitution doesn't speak about Election Commission in India. Let us look at Election Commission details. So we'll take a look at it with the help of our same old friend, which is our spider diagram. So when you consider Election Commission, then which article speaks about formation of Election Commission? It is Article 324, 324, 324. It is easier to remember also. Election Commission of India was founded on 25th of January 1950. 25th of January 1950. Now, in the beginning, when Election Commission was formed, at that point of a time, we had only one Chief Election Commissioner. So, in the beginning, I'll just write as beginning, there was only one Chief Election Commissioner who were taking care of all the elections. That is, they were the head of this Election Commission. Now what happened is, in 1989, through the Constitutional Amendment Act, that is 61st Constitutional Amendment Act, with this the age was decreased. Previously, till 1989, since our independence till 1989, minimum age for voting was 21 years. Through the help of 61st Constitutional Amendment Act, this was reduced from 21 years to 18 years. Now, when it was reduced from 21 years to 18 years, at that point of a time, you had lot of population who had to vote. So the pressure or work on the Election Commission was also very high. And because of this work pressure, there were two more election commissioners which were included. That is, we had one Chief Election Commissioner. Along with that, 2 election commissioners were elected. They also were appointed. 2 election commissioners were appointed. Okay, so I hope you have understood why 2 more election commissioners were appointed. That is because of the 61st Constitutional Amendment Act, which decreased the voting age from 21 years to 18 years. Now, along with Chief Election Commissioners, we had 2 more election commissioners. Again, what happened in 1990, 1 year after that, this the post of 2 election commissioners were removed. So 2 election commissioners post, this was removed. To understand that there was more pressure, and hence they are appointed. In 1990, again they removed, and in 1993 again they put it back. So in 1990, from 1993 onwards, there was Chief Election Commissioner plus 2 election commissioners. Chief Election Commissioner plus 2 election commissioner. And till now, there are 3 only. That is, there is 1 Chief Election Commissioner and 2 election commissioners. So what happens is, they all enjoy equal powers. They all enjoy equal powers. But in case if there are any differences, then there is majority. The person who has if there are 3, right? If 2 of them they agree on some decision, then they'll go along with that only. So I hope you have understood about this. So here, part 15 of Indian Constitution belongs to this Election Commission. Part 15 of Indian Constitution is related to the Election Commission, and the articles from Article 324 to 329. 324 speaks about formation of Election Commission. So Article 324 to Article 329 is related to the Election Commission in India. Also, the Election Commission also conduct the local body elections, and those local body elections, they are mentioned in Article 324 K and AZ. This is related to local body elections. So I hope you have understood about this. Let us move on to the second question. Consider the following statement. So the first statement says that Election Commission conducts election of Vidhan Parishad. Election Commission has absolute powers to declare the dates of election. Third statement says Election Commission has no employee of its own to conduct elections. In the above statements, which of the statements are correct? 1 is correct, 2 are correct, or all 3 are correct? Here the answer is C, all 3 are correct. So these are some small informations but very much valuable, which will be getting in the state textbooks. So you have to study the state textbooks also. So let us look at a little more details. Let us start with the first one. So we have to understand who appoints the election commissioners. Continuing from the previous question only, President appoints the election commissioners. You have to keep in mind that we are discussing the chapter itself with the help of multiple choice questions, and their tenure is 6 years. Or completion of 65 years of age. 6 years term or 65 years of age, whichever is earlier, and they can give resignation at any given point of a time. Along with that, even Parliament can impeach them. That is, remove them on the ground of incompetency or unconstitutional behaviors. Along with that, you have to remember that from here it is important because there are 2 parts over here. First is Election Commission. Second one is State Election Commission. First is Election Commission. Second one is State Election Commission. Election Commission, they conduct election for the office of President, for Vice President, and to Rajya Sabha, to Lok Sabha, and to Vidhan Parishad and Vidhan Sabha. So President is appointed, President's election procedure and Vice President's election procedure, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha in the center, and this you can say it as the election for MLAs, that is Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. So I hope you have understood that these are the elections which are conducted by Election Commission. So if they ask you, Election Commission conducts the elections for, who conducts the elections for local bodies or Panchayat Raj, then it is State Election Commission. They conduct the election for local bodies, that is for Panchayats. Elections are conducted by State Election Commission, and also urban local bodies. The elections are conducted by State Election Commission. Now in case of State Election Commission, the governor appoints the State Election Commissioner. In this case, there is State election commissioner also, because we have election commissioner, chief election commissioner we have in the election commission. Similarly, we have state election commissioner also. This state election commissioner is appointed by governor. State election commissioner is appointed by a governor under article 243K, that is the power of governor. So 243K and ZA 243K and ZA. Okay, so you have to remember that when we were discussing about election commission in the previous question, we saw that there were article for local bodies under this only, that is 324K and AZ also, that is the election commission. Under that only they have mentioned, and under this, under 243K and ZA, state election commissioner are appointed. Okay, so this state election commission has been formed under article 308. State election commission itself is formed under article 308, and this is of Karnataka Gram Swaraj and Panchayat Act of 1993. So this is of Karnataka Gram Swaraj and Panchayat Act of 1993, and they conduct election for local bodies. So you don't have to confuse so much also. You have to remember that for panchayats and urban local bodies, state election commission conducts the elections, and in case of president, vice president, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, Vidhan Parishads and Vidhan Sabha, it is conducted by election commission. Now in this case, the election commission for these elections, election commission has absolute power to declare the dates of elections. Absolute power to declare the dates of election and dates of results as well. And that duration from date of election to date of result, that entire duration of election, that is called as period of model code of conduct. Also, the election commission has no employees of its own to conduct elections. So because of that only, they take the employees from the government itself. From them only there will be a polling officer, then there will be other officers also who will be employed in the time of elections. So they appoint government employees only for its work, and this appointment of government employees is done from the approval of president. So I hope till here it is very clear. Let's move on to the next question. Third question. The ballot option designed to allow the voter to indicate disapproval of the candidate in voting system. What is the disapproval of candidate in the voting system? That is, actually answer is D over here. It is Nota. None of the above. Usually in the other options also we'll be getting the options as none of the above, but in this case it is Nota. That is why it is none of the above. So let us discuss some points related to Nota. So there was a case in 2013, that was People's Union for Civil Liberties versus Union of India. People's Union for Civil Liberties versus Union of India. So in this case in 2013, the judgment in this case, Supreme Court introduced that option that Nota has to be provided. Because it forms the individual's right to reject a particular candidate. That is, let us say in your constituency, let us say there are 15 candidates, example. Now you are not interested in voting to any of them, but voting is your right. At that point of a time, you can vote to Nota. That is none of the above. That is, you are not certain of voting for any of the person. So the candidate with maximum vote wins in the election, irrespective of the number of votes the Nota has got. Okay, irrespective of the number of votes Nota has got, but Nota gives a statement to the political parties that people were disappointed. That is, this many number of people were disappointed with that. Now in 2013, when the verdict came, after that there were elections in 4 states. And in total of those 4 states election, 1.85% of the total votes polled went to Nota only. 1.85% of total votes polled went to Nota. And in 2014 there was again general elections. In general elections it dropped to 0.95 percentage. It dropped to 0.95 percentage in assembly elections. This was in assembly elections actually. In assembly elections which was held in the 8 states. Again it increased in 2015, and then again it increased in some states it increased, and in some constituencies it decreased, etc. But Nota stands for none of the above. Along with that, there is one more thing which we have to remember. I guess you have voted in this time's elections as well. So it is VVPAT. So when you had been to vote, you had a system of EVM. You have a system of EVM. Here there were names, and here there were party symbols, and here there were buttons as well. So let us say there was a person called as XYZ belonging to ABC party. So when you press the button, a receipt you might have seen beside only. So a receipt might have come popping saying that okay, this person you have voted to. That is in order to verify if your voting has been for the same person or not. At that point of a time, whoever were there in that particular room, the polling officers and the representatives, they would ask you to verify if the name over here, that is if the name mentioned over here is same as the ones you have pressed the button for. So that is the function of VVPAT. VVPAT stands for Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trial. Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trial, or it is also called as VPR, which is Verified Paper Record. Verified paper record. So that is a feedback to the voters using the ballotless voting system. So in case if there is some mishap in the elections at that particular point of a time, let's say in like 3 to 4 places there has been mishap in the elections, or in one constituency there has been mishap in the election, at that point of a time on random basis they'll pick up the VVPAT, and they'll verify if it is the same number or not in order to declare the results, or if there is any case related to the elections. So I hope you have understood about VVPAT as well. Along with that, you have voter IDs, right? So the voter ID is called as EPIC. This is called as EPIC actually. This is Electoral Photo Identity Card. Electoral Photo Identity Card. So these details are mentioned in our state textbooks, which is very important for us to remember. Okay, so this is called as Electoral Photo Identity Cards. Let us move on to the fourth question. Consider the following related to election campaign. Election campaign. The election campaign starts after announcement of final list of candidates. The campaign must end 48 hours before the close of elections. Before the close of elections. Here the answer is C, both 1 and 2. Answer is C, both 1 and 2. This we have seen before, that that time is called as model code of conduct, and at that point of a time only you can at that point of a time it is very difficult in order to campaign, but the campaign actually starts after the list is announced, and before that also the campaign would have started, but usually it'll take a bigger pace when the list is announced. Fifth question. Which of the following was recognized as national party in 2023? So the answer here is A, Aam Aadmi Party. We had made a separate video on this national party, but because this was also included in this chapter, that is they had mentioned about regional parties, what is a coalition government, national parties, etc. This was actually in the current affairs, and hence we have to understand this. So Aam Aadmi Party, what had happened is in the recent Gujarat elections, Aam Aadmi Party got 5 seats. Aam Aadmi Party got 5 seats. But its voting share in all of the Gujarat election was around 13%. Vote share itself was around 13%. So before this, they have formed the government in Punjab as well. So election commission itself has laid down technical criteria for a party to be recognized as national party. And depending upon the conditions, a party may either gain the status of national party, or they may lose the status of national party. Now, what are the criteria? What are the criteria? I said about this because you have to understand that because of this only, this has helped them to gain the status of national party. They formed the government. they formed government. They are in other states as well. So what are the criteria? First one, the party is recognized as state party. The party which has to be recognized as national party must be recognized as state party. It must be recognized as state party in at least four or more states. At least four states. In at least four or more states. If they have been recognized as state party in at least four or more states, then they can give the status of national party. Or the second one, if the candidate of the party gets at least 6% of the total valid votes in at least four or more states. Four or more states. This can be either in Lok Sabha or in assembly elections also. They have to get 6% of the votes. Or the third condition, if the party has won at least 2% of the total seats in the Lok Sabha. 2% of the total seats in the Lok Sabha. And this 2% should not be from one state. It should be from at least three states. At least three states. So if one of these conditions are fulfilled, then that party is given the status of national party. Now in case of Aam Aadmi Party, the following states have got them more than 6% of the total valid votes. So they are a state national party according to the second condition over here. So which are these states? One is they have formed the government in Delhi. They have formed the government in Punjab. Okay, they have formed the government in Delhi and in case of Punjab also. But in case of Goa and in case of Gujarat, they have got more than 6% of the total valid votes. Because in Gujarat they have got 13%, in Goa also they have got more than 6%. And because of this condition, they have been given the status of national party. Now, there are 8 national parties. Before this Aam Aadmi Party, which was BJP, Congress, Trinamool Congress. Then there is CPIM, CPI. Then there is NCP, BSP, and National People's Party. So the latest was National People's Party. This was in 2019. But after this, Aam Aadmi Party has got in 2023. Okay, so I hope you have understood about this. I hope you have understood about all the important questions which we have discussed and also related to election commission. These were the basic questions which we discussed related to election commission. Later on in the future videos, we'll be discussing some more complex questions also, and from the Indian polity, Lakshmikant also will be taking the questions, and also from the current affairs. So at the end of this e-paper, there are a few multiple choice questions for you to answer. You can attempt those. Thank you. I'll see you soon in the next one.